During the season, Kristen Doty, my fellow cast member, started getting texts from people alleging that Faith had stolen from them in the past and saying that Faith was in a surveillance video showing someone stealing. Then we saw a news article with the video still of this woman who was accused of stealing, so we called a tip line. She continued saying, "We stupidly thought it might be Faith, partly because multiple people had been texting Kristen saying it was her,
Girl, no.
and also in our flawed detective work." All right. Okay.
Yeah,
We
very
thought the
flawed.
description of the women's tattoos sounded like Faith's. Kristen left a message on the tip line and gave her own contact information, and we never heard back. So that was the end of it. To my knowledge, Faith had never known about the call until she heard me talk about it on the podcast about a year later. I wasn't hiding it, but I also shouldn't have been talking and joking about it. We also shouldn't have made that phone call, but I didn't understand it at the time. I think one of the most profound things that I've learned is just because it wasn't about race for me doesn't mean that it wasn't about race for Faith. Faith brought her experience as a Black woman, and I brought mine as a white woman who has never had to think twice about the police or what that means for other people, which is basically the pillar of white privilege. So while Kristen and I didn't feel the situation was about race, it was for Faith. And because of that, it was about race. And she said, I was wrong, and I just need people to understand that this wasn't motivated by her race. And she said she deeply hurt my friend. She was saying that she deeply hurt her friend when she slept with Jax. She's like, this wasn't motivated by race. She deeply hurt my friend. That's what she wrote in the book. That was what she wrote.
Right. I mean, listen, again, it's her story to tell, right? If Faith wants to rebuttal, let's write a book. Faith looks good, by the way. Is that a recent photo? I haven't seen her in a long time.
That is not a recent photo, no.
Okay. Well, then we don't. Never mind. Take that back.
I'm sure she still looks great, but that is not a recent photo, no.
All right. I don't know what are you going to? I mean, someone in live chat even just said sue over what? Like, what are you suing over? You know, it's like it's just it's a moment. It seems opportunistic, and I don't want to say that, but that's how it kind of comes off. It's like, you know, I understand you want to see her still crash and burn. I get that, but at the same time, it's like, you know, giving to it, sue her to give to a charity. It's just.
Well, my question is, now that Faith she's made over $6,000 or $7,000, and this was a couple days ago. Maybe she's even made more at this point. Now that she's made this money, if she doesn't sue, like Smeg just said, Faith isn't going to sue. She's going to take the money and go shopping. We don't know that, but what if she does get all this money, and what if she doesn't sue? Does the money just go back to
where does it go? Yeah,
I've never done GoFundMe. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
Do the people get their money back, or does she get to keep it?
I would think people get their money back, but I've seen GoFundMe projects go awry, like film funding projects and stuff, and the films don't ever get made, and you never see the final product, but you put money into, you know, stuff like that. So yeah, I don't know. If it doesn't go through, she should return the money, or she's going to find herself in a hard spot too. And I understand, like Sean even just said in the live chat, the apology wasn't real. And I don't know Stassi's thing on that, but what she said right there on, you know, I don't know her actual personal values or opinions on anything, like when it comes to race or anything else. I don't. But she didn't say anything bad where you can actually, like, she's using her you know, all our entitlement of freedom of speech to write a book. She can put out whatever she wants, and Faith should put out a book, talk about the situation and how bad it hurt, and exactly what was done to you and how you felt. I think that would be more educational than just kind of, you know,
a GoFundMe.
And
people would read her book.
Absolutely. This would be actually a great platform for Faith.
Yeah, I agree with that. Yeah. All right. Well, speaking of people receiving money to get something done and not using it for those purposes, let's talk about Tom Girardi for just a second. Tom's looking great. All right. So Tom Girardi, let me catch you up really quick, Jason. Well, actually, look at Tom Girardi here. And you know what's so sad is, like, you see this man, and I'm not saying it's sad because of him or whatever, but you see this man, and then you see like this one over here, and she's just like doing the damn thing. And she's like, oh, I'm not rich anymore, but I will be again soon. Just wait till I meet my new man. Oh, look, this is the place.
Cute.
It's kind of like City Winery.
It's like, no, it's not like City Winery, Adam.
That's what it reminds me of.
It's a little bigger. Was House of Blues, Mandalay Bay, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. Yeah, listen.
All right. Well, what I
You
was
can
going to tell
decorate.
you.
Okay, I was gonna be
Well, I was
shady.
just going to
I
tell
don't
you
want
really
too much
quick.
shady.
She was supposed to be, because she's still being sued for over $25 million in this lawsuit. Now, they said that she's coming to a point where hopefully in August she might be able to settle this lawsuit and come to an agreement. But this was all, they were starting to settle this while also thinking that Tom Girardi was going to remain in a senior living facility because he could not go to trial. He was mentally incompetent. He was diagnosed with dementia and Alzheimer's. Like literally, this was the perfect crime. I am going to steal from people or embezzle allegedly millions and millions of dollars over decades. And then the moment that I know that the house is coming crashing down, I don't remember shit. I don't know anything. So, because I don't know anything, you can't put me in a prison cell because I don't remember doing the crime, which is wild to me. So then he was diagnosed by one of his doctors, right? With this.
Mm-hmm.
And then the prosecutors in the court had him re-diagnosed, found out that they feel like he is mentally competent to stand trial, which means now he has to stand trial for multiple counts of wire fraud. And in these multiple counts, he could actually have to serve the rest of his life in prison. But now that he will have to potentially stand trial if the prosecutors get their way, that might drag Erica back into it. So this whole deal that she thinks that, like it's all, we're getting over the hill. I'm doing my new Vegas residency at City Winery and
Yeah, but
we're
that doesn't erase anything before. You know what I
right.
mean? For
But I think
for
she thinks she's
Tom as
coming out.
well.
I think she thinks she's coming out on the other side of it. They're saying it's her redemption season. Can you imagine the can of worms this shit's going to open up?
No, I mean, I'm just thinking about the seasons we still have left with Erica. Redemption season brought back down to legal trauma. It's like we have what this is. Yeah, it's insane. It's insane. The justice system will always win. And it might take years, but this is insane.
Yeah.
I don't know what the outcome of this will be. I I have my opinions, but I'm going to keep them to myself when it comes to Erica and Tom.
I mean, it's hard to have really, really like sometimes, I talk to other creators sometimes and they're like, I don't know how some creator, like they get really genuinely pissed when they see other creators defending like Erica, or maybe there's a villain on Miami or New York, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's wild because you watch the show, you talk about the show, you get so invested and you can't help, even though you just really like, you're not thinking about this is just a very edited version of their life, but you can't help but to form these like major opinions of being like, wow, you're
absolutely. I really, for me personally, I really want Erica to win, and I really wish she was remorseful at some point for anything.